Equipped is an acronym. The first E is empower others. The Q is quality time with others. The U is unselfishness towards others. The I is inspire others. The first P is positivity. The second P is people-centered. We get this world is so self-centered, so the second P is people-centered. The next E is example for others. How can we be an example for others? And then the D is develop others. So equip to serve. And so in this book, I give people a roadmap of how they can live empowered. It doesn't have to be some big grandiose thing that you're doing, but if you can even just pick up one or two of these timeless habits, characteristics, you can live empowered and be empowering for other people.
Welcome, family, to the Bacon Bits Podcast, where we desire for you to take the bits of information and immediately apply them to your life for success. The ground rules for our podcast is that it will always be encouraging, uplifting, and informative. The areas of life that we will be talking about on the Bacon Bits Podcast is dealing with having a balanced life. And I need to hear you say it. Say valuable information applied equals success. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a phenomenal guest on this show. This is my brother Jimmy Hart. We'll be talking about his wonderful book that he's just published, which is Equipped to Serve, Empowered People, Empowering Others. So, man, we are super excited to have you here, Brother Jimmy.
Appreciate you, Brother Bacon. This is awesome. Thank you for allowing me to come on your platform. Just grateful for this opportunity to be here. I definitely enjoy what you are doing and enjoyed listening to the podcast.
Yeah, man, super grateful, man, because we've been knowing each other for, about 20, close to 20 years.
It's been some time.
Yeah, he used to be over the African American Studies here in Tucson, Arizona. How long were you over that, Jimmy?
John, I was over that 13 years, man.
Wow,
definitely
brother.
Enjoyed having your children go through. Vivid memory of your son.
Yeah.
We had the whole about 800 people stand up, acknowledge him with his GPA and going to play ball.
Yeah, super grateful, man, for them times, man. Super thankful. So, man, where did it all start, Jimmy? What made you go in this direction of wanting to empower people and encourage them?
Some of this came out. I always wanted to write a book. And then with all that was happening with COVID in 2020, all the national tension, international tension, and it gets very easy to feel that, we have no power or we're not in a position to make decisions or make impact.
Right.
And so I just started reflecting, and in 20 I started a business. I started my consulting business, and in 21 I started writing a book. So it took me a little over 2 years to write this particular book. And I just wanted to do something that reminded people that we all have the ability to live empowered and empower others. And so many times we think it's about having a high profile position or being in charge, but we can empower in our own homes with ourselves. And so that's what made me write the book.
Wow. Because I was thinking about, ever since I've known you all these years, you've been always empowering and encouraging people. So what was that initial desire like when you were younger? Like, man, I just love, making people happy and making them helping them be a better person.
That goes back to my parents and my upbringing. Both my parents gave to the community. They're from Phoenix but lived here. Mm-hmm. I grew up here all my life, and they always gave back, whether it was in the church. In fact, in the book, one chapter I talk about my mom on unselfishness. Yeah. And talk about how she, for 15 years, gave to the women's shelter. Yeah. My dad tutored youth in the community. So just watching them, and that was passed down, and I always wanted to support and serve and help other people. Started out wanting to be an architect. Yeah. But ended up going down the path of teaching. Being a teacher and then administrator, and just enjoyed the impact you could have on helping mold a young person's life. Yeah. Or point them in the right direction if they're going the wrong direction.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing, man. So in chapter 1, you wrote about POT, is power of temptation.
Yes, P-O-T, pot. You know, kids don't even use that word. I don't even know if they know what that word means nowadays. Pot. You know, we used to say that word growing up. But I got it from a counselor, my high school counselor at Tucson High, Mr. Pinellas, who has since passed. But he always talked about this idea of power over temptation. Mm-hmm. So in terms of empowering others and living empowered, I wanted to share that story because we all have a little pot, and it's okay to exhibit pot.
Yeah.
Power over temptation.
Yes, sir.
And the better we get at that, something I work on every day,
yeah,
the better our lives are. You know, and this falls in line with, you know, what you were talking about and your purpose and the whole purpose of this podcast. How can we be better?
Yeah.
I've listened to your podcast on finances. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a big area. If we could have power over temptation.
Yeah.
With our finances and our spending.
Yeah. That's a big one, brother. That ain't no lie. So you mentioned kindness as the X factor. Can you talk about why kindness is the X factor?
Kindness is the X factor. And, you know, we see a lot of wild, crazy, disruptive things in our society. And kindness, I think the more we can exhibit kindness and practice it and model it, we become these ambassadors.
Yeah.
And so I want to be this ambassador for younger folks, the generation behind me. How do we live this out? But I came to this idea of kindness as the X factor, and it's not a new idea, but I was going through a very tough time in my mid-20s. Mm-hmm. I was mad at the world.
Yeah.
And I had a phone call with my dad, and he said, "You never lose being kind."
Ooh.
And I've never forgot that, and it's never failed me in job, work positions, personal relationships. Just never forgetting that idea that you never lose being kind. It may seem like it at the time, but you never lose. You can't go wrong being kind.
Right on.
And so that's why I talk about kindness as the X factor.
Yeah, beautiful, man, beautiful. So I'm a person that loves analogies and acronyms. I love them. My whole life, I feel like it's based on analogies and acronyms. And so you have an acronym for equipped.
Yes.
So would you share that with us, my brother?
I will, yes. Equipped to serve. And so I had to dig deep when I wrote this book. And equipped is an acronym. The first E is empower others. Mm-hmm. The Q is quality time with others. The U is unselfishness towards others. The I is inspire others. The first P is positivity. The second P is people-centered. Mm-hmm. You know, we get this world is so self-centered. So the second P is people-centered. The next E is example for others. How can we be an example for others? And then the D is develop others. So equipped to serve. And so in this book, I give people a roadmap of how they can live empowered. It doesn't have to be some big grandiose thing that you're doing, but if you can even just pick up one or two of these timeless habits, characteristics, you can live empowered and be empowering for other people.
Right.
So I appreciate you asking that.
Yeah, man, because I know that with acronyms, it just makes life so much more easier because you can break it down. Like, okay, if I focus on this one word and what each letter means, it can, you know, just, it really enhance your life. So does any of those like stick out to you? Like one that was like, man, if I almost would like bank my life on this one. I know you wrote all of them and they all good, but it's got to be like one or two are just like, man, these are like my babies right here.
The first one, chapter 1, the E for empower others.
Yeah.
You know, the title of the book, subtitle, you know, empowered people, empower others. Mm-hmm. So I'll hang my hat on that one. The better we get at spending time helping others, I believe our life is rewarded.
Yeah.
Another saying I got from a professor, you always hear me talk about people who sold into my life.
Yeah.
One of my professors in college, we ended up going into business for a number of years. And he would always say the power in receiving is giving.
Yeah.
And so that brings me to this idea of empower others.
Yeah.
And you've heard some dynamic individuals over the year talk about, you know, if you can help as many people, you know, your life will be fulfilled.
Yeah.
You spend your time helping as many other people get where they want to go.
Yeah.
You'll definitely get to where you want to go. So, empower others.
Yeah.
It's big.
Love it. I love
it's
it.
Big.
I love it. Because I think about that all the time. Like when we go to nursing homes, or we go to the hospital or whatever, and we think, let's go up there and give them a couple of words of encouragement. And you going up there to empower the person, but by the time you walk away from the conversation, you feel much better.
Yep.
You be like, I went to
just
go
as much or more.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's awesome to feel that. So I'm glad you're sharing that with us. So man, it's been such a blessing have you in my life, man. And I'm so grateful because we done a couple of endeavors together, and pray we'll do a lot more
That's
together,
right.
because I know we just desire and want to help people be the best that they can be.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask you about your experience over, when you were over the African American Studies in Tucson. How did that all come about?
That came about, I met my wife in Oklahoma. I left Arizona and went to Oklahoma. And once we had our son, she wanted to be near family.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to go back to Ohio with the snow.
Oh, amen.
Amen. She didn't want to go back to the snow. And so we was like, okay, let's go to Arizona. And she said, you know what, if we're going to go to Arizona, let's not do Phoenix, let's go to Tucson.
Wow.
Where your parents are.
Yeah.
So we went to Tucson, and I had looked at that position, African American Studies. It's now African American Student Services, but at the time it was African American Studies. I looked at that position when we first talked about moving here, and I took a principalship first for 5 years, and it came open again, and said, this is something I can do, and I can make an impact in the lives of many others.
Yeah.
Wasn't thinking in terms of empowered people, empower others,
right.
But that was the intent, and living that out. And so I applied, and it was an opportunity to help and give back to the community that had given back so much to me. I was very fortunate as a kid growing up here in Tucson to have lots of mentors.
Yeah.
Lots of men who sold into my life. My dad had, friends he was close with that sold into my life, and I wanted to do that same thing for the youth here in our community. And so I took it on and ran with it. There had been some great directors before me, and so I wanted to make sure I honored their past, and then do my part to continue to move the needle. Yeah. Move the needle forward.
Yeah. So you have been such an encouragement to so many people here in Tucson, and I know it's time for you to spread your wings and go across this country.
Yes,
I believe go overseas.
Amen.
I believe I'm speaking that. I'm speaking it.
I'm taking it all in and believing it, accepting it.
Yeah, because man, you have so much to give, and I think this is a phenomenal season of we did what we did in the local level, but now it's time to go national.
It is.
It's time to go international.
It is.
And I really believe there's a lot of people that could benefit around this world from this wonderful book. So can you tell us the title again, and how can the people get it?
Yes, I appreciate that, John. Thank you.
Yes.
So the title is Equipped to Serve, Empowered People, Empower Others. It's on Amazon. The foreword was written by international best-selling and Pulitzer nominee Clifton L. Talbert. He's a mentor of mine.
Yeah.
He produced a movie many years back called Once Upon a Time When We Were Colored.
Wow.
With Felicia Rashad, the actor Leon.
Yeah.
He's written 15 books. So he's my mentor. He wrote the foreword. It's a really good book. I've got some great reviews from it. It's on Amazon. They can get it on Amazon.
All right. Yes.
Every day, any day. Anytime. In fact, this is your copy right here.
Appreciate
because
that.
You are an empowerer. This platform is empowering, and I've had the opportunity to watch you empower others, and definitely appreciate your platform and the message that you're putting out to folks, and how we can live. Everything you're saying is about living empowered.
Yeah.
So appreciate you as well, and the work that your wife is doing as well.
Thank you so much. Now, what if we want to have you come somewhere and speak? Where can people get a hold of you at?
I appreciate that. My website is jimmyhartglobal.com. So JIMMYHART global.com. And I'm open to always giving out my phone number. My phone number is 520-247-9963. They can text me. I love speaking, love doing keynote presentations.
Right on. Amen.
Just want to give back and share, and thank you for this opportunity to share that.
Yeah, super grateful. So we'll have that posted up under the episode that we're recording right now. So super grateful you could come out, Jimmy. I am so grateful for the many lives that you've touched. You know, you've been a blessing, like I said, to me for years. And I'm super grateful in the direction that God has taken you, man, and really appreciative, man. So I'm so glad you could come out and share yourself with us in our wonderful platform and our audience.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Love you, brother.
Love you too.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from one of the greatest, Brother Jimmy Hart. Please, you heard the contact information. You heard the wonderful stories of his wonderful book that he wrote. He has tremendously been a blessing to so many people, and I want him to be a blessing in your life. So you heard the phone number. We'll have that. We'll have the website on where you can reach him at, and you know where on Amazon to go get his book, Equipped to Serve, Empowering People and Empowering Others. This is your boy John Bacon with another segment of Bacon Bits. Love you guys. God bless.